President Donald Trump has announced that the United States intends to run Venezuela.
So now let's go to reaction that's pouring in from world leaders this morning who are waking up to a new reality with what happened over.
Imagine waking up one morning and hearing this headline. The president of Venezuela has been arrested. No tanks on the streets, no bombs falling from the sky, no American soldiers landing on beaches, just silence. But what if I told you this was not just an arrest? What if this was the final move in a long, carefully planned global chess game? And what if Venezuela was never the real target? What if you are? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will see global politics very differently. Let's begin with the man at the center of the storm, Nicolás Maduro. For years, the world has been told one simple story. Maduro is a dictator, Venezuela is broken, and the United States wants to restore democracy. It sounds noble, it sounds familiar, but history teaches us something uncomfortable. Whenever the United States talks about democracy, oil prices start moving, currencies shake, and governments fall. So let's ask the most dangerous question. Was this really about democracy, or was it about control? Venezuela is not a poor country. It is one of the richest resource vaults on Earth. Beneath its soil lies the largest proven oil reserves in the world, even more than Saudi Arabia. Oil that fuels armies, oil that decides currencies, oil that keeps the global system alive. And here's the problem. Venezuela stopped playing by Washington's rules. It started selling oil outside the US-controlled system. It talked about ditching the dollar. It flirted with gold-backed trade. That is not rebellion. That is heresy. Because the global system runs on one invisible pillar, the dominance of the US dollar. Every barrel of oil traded in dollars strengthens American power. Every country that escapes the dollar weakens it. And Venezuela wasn't just escaping, it was challenging. Now here's where things get uncomfortable. There was no invasion, no Iraq-style war, no Afghanistan-style occupation. Instead, something far more effective happened. The system turned from the inside. Key politicians switched sides. Military generals suddenly changed loyalties. Members of parliament vanished or defected. Not through ideology, through incentives, money, sanctions relief, foreign protection. History has seen this before. Empires fall not when enemies attack, but when insiders open the gates. This wasn't a battlefield victory. It was a boardroom takeover. And then came the quietest weapon of all, technology. Before the arrest narrative unfolds, something strange happens. Communication goes dark. Radars stop responding. GPS signals glitch. Command systems freeze. No bombs, just code. Cyber warfare doesn't kill soldiers. It disables nations. And suddenly, a terrifying question appears. If your satellites, internet, GPS, and communication depend on foreign systems, are you really sovereign? This is where companies like Starlink enter the story. Private corporations, military-grade infrastructure, global reach. Power no longer wears uniforms. It runs on servers. And this leads us to the most dangerous idea of the modern age, digital enslavement. A country can have an army, a flag, and a president. But if its digital nervous system is controlled externally, it can be paralyzed overnight, without a single bullet fired. Now let's zoom out. This was not improvisation. This was a playbook. First, sanctions. Not symbolic sanctions, crippling sanctions. Banking cut off, imports blocked, currency strangled. Inflation explodes. Jobs vanish. Public anger rises. Then comes the narrative. The government has failed you. You deserve better. We are here to help. And finally, regime change. A friendly face, a compliant government, a reopened resource pipeline. This is not theory. This has precedent. In 1989, the U.S. invaded Panama, removed its leader, and installed a government that aligned with Washington. Different decade, same logic. But why is Venezuela so sensitive? Because Latin America has long been considered America's strategic backyard. And that idea has a name, the Monroe Doctrine. Declared in 1823, its message was simple. No outside power will interfere in the Western Hemisphere. That doctrine never expired. It only evolved.
So, when Maduro began deepening ties with Russia and China, alarms went off in Washington. Military cooperation, energy deals, technology sharing. From the U.S. perspective, this wasn't diplomacy, it was defiance. And defiance in geopolitics has consequences. But this story is not about Venezuela alone. It is a warning. Because the final part of this video is about lessons. Lessons for every country that believes sovereignty is guaranteed, especially rising powers, especially India.
Lesson 1. The greatest threat is not external invasion. It is internal betrayal. If your political class, military leadership, or institutions can be bought, pressured, or coerced, your flag becomes decoration. Lesson 2. Economic independence is national security. Currency sovereignty, payment systems, trade autonomy. If your economy runs on someone else's switch, they can turn it off. Lesson 3. Technology is power. Not speeches, not morality, not international law. Power. Those who control satellites, chips, energy routes, and digital infrastructure write the rules. Everyone else follows them.
The world likes to believe global politics is about values. It isn't. It is about leverage. Venezuela learned that the hard way, and the rest of the world is watching. So the next time you hear a headline about democracy, arrests, or humanitarian intervention, pause. Ask yourself one question. Who benefits? Because in the modern world, power doesn't announce itself. It moves quietly, and by the time you notice it, the game is already over. If this video made you think, share it, because awareness is the only defense left. And if you want more deep, unfiltered breakdowns of global power, stay with this channel. The next story might be closer to home than you think.